guys, we're here again. What? All the way back from my 2-week break. You were my first guest back from that. So, hi, Max. Welcome to the show.
Hey,
Hello.
hey, Katie, how are you?
I am well. Recovering from too much time off. Hopefully, you're doing great.
You look fine. You look fine. You look good.
I look. No. I look like I need a nap and a snack.
Well, we both have energy drinks, so
We do.
that keep us going.
Cheers. Clink, clank. There we go. Ding. Yeah. So yes.
Of the no sugar variety, because
Yes.
when we drink our poison, we don't want to get big, at least.
True. Yes. They're still fairly delicious. I'm
very
rocking
much
the
so,
mango.
yeah.
I'm rocking the mango. It's fairly good. Yes. I hope you're doing well, and I'm glad to have met you. Hi.
Thank you. Glad to be here, and grateful to Evil Mike for setting this up and making the intro.
Yes, we got introduced because of Evil Mike. He did a review for this book right here.
Yeah.
I believe that's how you found him.
Yes, one of the early reviews, one of the sterlingly positive reviews, which you never forget. You never forget your first reviews, your first your first notices.
Yeah. Let's do a quick hey to the chat, and then we'll come back real quick. We've got all the way from New Mexico. We have Las Cruces. What is up, Las Cruces?
Okay.
All the way from the UK, who's dropping all the links. We've got Glenn. What is up, Glenn?
Hello, Glenn.
Yeah. Then over here we have Danny Nolan says, I've heard a rumor that the writer of this comic has been certified insane.
We have a review show together, Danny.
Yeah. Well,
yes.
If that's true, you've come to the right place, my friend. This is perfect. Got TM Nerdy, also from the Canada. What is up, TM? We have so then Glenn is down here dropping all of your links. We got the link to your book there.
Much
Twitter,
appreciated.
Instagram. We also have future pre-launch link here. If you would like to check this out for when it does launch, go click this. And then I do have your Amazon link for the Kindle one, which will be dropping also in the chat as we go along. And then we have another Canada right here. What's up, Dan?
Greetings and salutations. That's a Demolition Man. Demolition Man quote. Greetings and salutations. They don't say hello in that universe, and I think we're headed there.
Probably. Hopefully, without the 3 shells, though.
I still haven't got that. Yeah.
They never really explained how that worked, and hopefully, maybe people will be able to do that. What's up, Miss O? How are you doing?
Hey, Miss O.
Let's see. Oh, we got Noran. What's up, Noran? Hi, how are you? We got Caroline. What's up, Caroline? Hi, Jason. Whatever. Hey, Jason. What's up? How are you?
Yeah, he's right. He's right.
I am okay. Yeah, whatever. No, the bags under my eyes will say otherwise. I need more sleep. What's up, Kyle?
Great.
How are you doing?
Hey, Kyle.
No, we got JD. What's up, JD? How are you guys?
Cagering's Comics.
Yeah. And the Frog. What's up, Frog? How you doing? All right, we made it to the end of the chat. Okay.
I would pay to see Frogs fight. That would be amazing.
Frogs fight?
Yeah, just put
Have you seen
gloves on frogs? Are you kidding me? Yeah.
Yes. Have you seen the cool meme where it's about frogs, and every time they're doing something, they're doing superhero poses? So they're actually meant to look like natural born fighters.
I can see that because they have such a like their upper body is so big compared to the rest of them. They would have immense upper body strength.
Yes.
That's sort of.
Got another one. We got Rude in the chat. What's up? So yes, for those just joining us, hi, hello, welcome to the chat, and we are here with Max. So Max, hold on one second. Let me go like this. We can make it weird. Boom. Hi. Hello, Max.
Oh.
Yes.
How about that? Center. Not used to this. Yeah.
I know, right? It's a weird feeling. Would you like to give yourself a full-on introduction and let the people know who you are?
Not really, but I've just been put on the spot, so let's do it. My name is Max. You know that Seinfeld joke how like public speaking is the number 1 fear and death is the number 2 fear. So if you're in a funeral, most people would prefer to be in the casket than giving the eulogy. I kind of sympathize. especially right now. Anyway, my name is Max, and I just made a comic book. Stellarlands is my first. It's an epic comic book sci-fi saga. I'm not great at pitches, but here it goes. This is just one issue in a planned series of 8 that takes place in a distant universe. No, it takes place on this universe in multiple galaxies in a distant future where metahumans are alive in a very pragmatic biological sense, which will be explained in future issues. And it centers around a war, an impending war, which threatens to imbalance some delicate alliances throughout the galaxy. So there are political intricacies there, which I bring my background. I have a degree in politics, so I bring my knowledge there in the world building and in the lore building and in the construction of diplomacy throughout the various planets, and how I envision it would play out in a realistic level, our relationship with aliens. And like my favorite show is The Wire, and yo, hey, Bird, I gotta say that I'm a bit unhealthily obsessed with that show. And what I love about it is that each season doesn't stick with the same characters, so to speak, but it focuses on a different institution. Like season 1 was about the cops, season 2 was about the docks, season 3 was about Amsterdam, and 4 was about schools, and 5 was about journalism. And that's what this Balzacian network is sort of a template which I follow. This issue of Stellarlands follows covert ops, basically, about secret agent or field agent work that a metahuman would do. And what I'm writing now, or what I've finished writing, issue 2, details life on a military base. And I have future issues that deal with also journalism and politics and things of that myriad nature, and how I would see that the reality of our social structures being applied to a future setting. And I know that sounds very, very academic. That's a lot of I can't do 50 words. I have to do an essay.
You did great. Okay, thank you. Here, you did great, and because you did great, I will take you off the big, because you did such an amazing job.
Also, I was just getting used to that.
That's okay. I will make you big again. Let's ease you back into that, because Jason says yes, make it weird. Also, Max is a cool name, unlike Todd or Sven.
I don't know. There's this actor called Sven Olthornsen. He's do you know him? Have you heard of him?
But that is a superhero name if I've ever heard one. Saying
that dude is a super villain. He in all of his films, he doesn't have a line, and he's always that entity that chases you. Like he was the mean sheriff in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Oh, okay.
In the Bruce Lee story, Enter the Dragon, he was Bruce Lee's nightmare.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
And in Mallrats, he was a security cop. And
yes.
He was Tigris of Gaul in Gladiator. He just plays those types of.
He was meant to be the villain. Yes. He was meant to be the villain.
Or sub villain. He's never the main villain. He's
kind of like the side guy. But also kind of like villain vibes, but
definitely.
Kind of when you got a name like that, you kind of meant
pull off the leash, and he does it well. I think he's still alive. I'm not sure.
He might be.
Yeah. Death is too afraid to, like Chuck Norris. Death is too afraid to come claim him.
Yeah, not yet. I just saw a Chuck Norris meme. It was amazing. It was like the tread on the bottom of his shoes, and an up close picture of Thanos' chin. It's like he kicked him in the chin.
Chuck Norris, 2005.
That was the best. Come on, Chuck Norris memes to this day are so the greatest.
Has he been replaced as the king meme for masculinity or
I don't know, because he'll go away and then he'll come back, and then it's Chuck Norris all over again. Like he just doesn't go away. He's amazing though, and I respect him for that. You gotta give
yeah
him mad props for that. Yeah, Glenn
yeah
says he loves Chuck Norris. Yes.
yeah you can't. Well, who's going to tell him to go away?
Nobody is gonna tell him. Oh my gosh! Holy crap! Lamp,
What
Lamp
does that
has
mean?
just
Lamp
popped
for
in
the win.
here from the Twitch, and this is hilarious to me, dude. This is how long I've been have not been doing Twitch streams in a while. He just did the follow button on Twitch. He's been following for 4 years, 2 months, 2 days, and 19 hours. I'm sorry for not doing many art streams on Twitch.
I'm not a video game person, but I think Twitch is a video game thing. Is that
It's
correct?
a lot of things, actually. Yeah. They have sections for video gaming. They have sections for podcasting, just talking channels, sections for art, and like a bunch of other random things. So there's a massive community on there just for doing art as well. So yeah.
For some reason, I always associated it with video games. So that's where it started, right? Or that's how it started.
Yeah. I met him in a Trove gaming stream.
Trove.
Which is like Minecraft, yeah.
Oh, right.
Minecrafty, yeah.
Oh, that's complicated. I bought Skyrim in 2011. Ooh. Still playing it. I'm okay. It's so big. I'm sated. Yeah.
Video game and bathtub streams is what Twitch is known for.
That's what I thought. That's exactly what I thought. Yeah.
I mean, gotta give Amaranth her credit, because holy crap, she be doing her thing. She's amazing. Yeah. But also, thanks for coming by again. Yeah, it's been a hot minute since I've seen you, dude. I'm glad to see that you have not changed your icon in all that time that I've known you. Yes.
Yeah, well, point for consistency. Yeah. Why fix something that isn't broken?
Exactly. I could do it if I believed in myself. Thank you very much. Yeah, thanks. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for the words of encouragement to hot tub streams. Thank you very much.
Words of encouragement from a lamp. Yeah.
Millions. Yeah. I guarantee she does. Ooh, Starfield didn't hook me like Skyrim. Okay.
Oh, right. Yeah. Well, I did read the reviews, and it's very unique in that it encourages you to play a potential 8 to 12 hours first before it gets good, because you're in a planet. I believe it's Mars, and that's where you are for the first. The first iteration of that of the game narrative, and then you go out in space, and then you visit the vastness of the universe that they created. So, Frog Brawler, I think you should hang in there and just wait until you're completely out of the planet. It's like Fallout 3, where you spend much of the first chapter of the game inside a bunker, in an underground bunker, and then as events unfold, I thought the whole game would take place inside that bunker, but I was very wrong. At some point you escape it, and then there's just, it's like you're a frog escaping a well. You have all this terrain and cities and people and factions to explore. So and that may be the style of Bethesda.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Oblivion was good too. I liked even the earlier games that they had too. I used to play those a lot. Like the console games.
All right. Yeah. Well, I'm still on console. I'm not a mouse and keyboard. I'm not a mouse and keyboard person, and unfortunately,
I like to hop back and forth. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you want, what was it? Starfield? I think you got to buy an Xbox One. Is that the latest one right now?
Xbox.
Yeah.
I don't know. I stopped buying them after I got the Red Ring of Death. So then I stopped buying Xbox after that. Yeah.
Oh,
that was terrible. Yeah.
That's a brick. So you couldn't play any game at all.
No, it killed me. What was it, 360? Oh, wow. Yeah, 360 just decided to die on me like a month into we got it, and they would not replace it.
1 month.
Yeah, we're like, screw it. So you know what they did? They sent us a replacement power cord instead of helping us replace it, and they're like, nope, not happening. Yeah.
No, that
Thanks,
sounds
Xbox.
dodgy.
Yeah, thanks,
That's
Xbox.
dodgy as hell, man.
Xbox Series X is the newest one. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what you gotta get for Starfield.
Yeah. I am quite addicted to Fortnite though. I got really big into that. All thanks to the Batman Fortnite codes that came out for the comics.
That's the dancing people with guns and stuff.
It is. Yeah.
You run around in a sandbox trying to kill each other or work together.
You do.
Or something.
Yeah, you do. Then you, after you shoot them, then you do the dance on top of their poor forsaken bodies. What's up, Bleaker? How you doing? We got Bleaker in the house. We got Choppy Chop in the house. We got more peeps in the house. Way more peeps. I think I missed somebody.
Well, you've got a lot of fans. I don't think I've met this many people.
You don't think you've met this many people? Well, there's currently 21 peeps in the chat right now, talking to us. So, yeah, they're popping in and out. I know there's a couple things happening tonight, happening on a Friday. It's been a hot minute. It's been 2 weeks since I did any stream, so maybe
this is the Whiplash audience. Yeah, they're all coming back. But imagine that, like 20 people in a room. That would be overwhelming for an introvert like me. Hey, TM.
There's
nerdy.
Actually 20 people in a room that I'm like, yeah, I don't, you know.
Yeah. Introvert problems, you know?
Yeah, for real. Oh, Lampy Lamp. Hold on a second. One of my lovely mods, because I don't have any of my YouTubes open, could drop my actual YouTube link to my channel, because he's trying to pull it up on the Twitch right here. Actually, I need to add that as a command on my Twitch. Thanks.
Hang on. So you're being viewed on Twitch at the moment. Is that correct?
I am streaming to Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube at the same time.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right. I guess that makes sense now. It's all
Yes.
Yeah.
What's up, Trev?
Hi. People, yeah.
Oh, we have
a
question.
Trev. I think he's either British or Australia. Yeah. Trev.
Read the 3 Body Problem series or watched the shows.
I am sorry, I have not, but I'm a voracious reader, and I will take that. I will take that recommendation. It's called the 3 Body Problem series. All right, I will.
Sounds pretty good.
3 Body Problem. Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, I'm more of a film person, but yeah, I'll check it out.
Oh, perfect. Because I know Glenn is a huge film person. Also, what is up, Biggie Shack? What's happening? What's up, guys? Oh, Frog. Yes. All right. Also, but yeah, we're gonna hear, because we're gonna talk here. Let me highlight myself. Let me make me bigger for a second.
All right, let's do it.
So that we can show your book off. I know, isn't that weird? It's such a weird. But here, there's a cover to your first issue, because you're going to do 8 series. Is going to stop at 8, or are you going to do any continuation series after that?
No, I think, well, in my mind, the story ends at 8, or I should say, if we ever get that far and it hits an omnibus, there will be an epilogue. But yes, it'll that's the narrative is closed in my mind. Hey, Kev.
Yeah, yes. Kev. What's up, Kev?
Yeah, I love that cover, by the way. That's
isn't it pretty?
Yeah. Well, that was designed by an artist from Colorado. The illustrator, the penciler and inker. Hey, his name is Ben Worrell. And funny story, when I sent a call out to find an artist, and this is a disembodied collaboration, meaning you don't have to be in the same room physically. You could be anywhere in any part of the world, and many people applied, so many people, which is an indication of the talent and the hunger for work out there for comic book creators. Ben Worrell, whose name is right at the top, he was the first person to apply. But I should have just nabbed him then and there. But as the practice goes, you just keep on looking around and screening all of the possible candidates. to see just to see who else is there. But yeah, if I just went with the first applicant, I would have saved myself like 2 months or something. Just you run a marathon when the guy's right there. Yeah.
He did a stellar job. Haha.
Yeah, exactly. And if we can just see the cape at the if we can have a close up at the cape, that is an actual photograph, the public domain photograph of the James Webb Telescope picture of the universe, which was sent in I believe it was 2022. It was it was sent to outer space to sort of supplant or replace the Hubble telescope. That's actually the universe, and it's been rendered to look animated. But those, all that in our cape, those are actual galaxies or dead galaxies, because light takes a long time to travel before it's visible. But you're looking into our cape and you're seeing, you're seeing a universe. Yeah.
Yeah. The cover is fire, Jason. What's
Thank
up, CJ?
you. A huge compliment to our artist.
Also, Nurin says, so he did the interiors as well?
Yes, he did. He did. Yeah, he did all the pencils and inks in the in the covers, from the cover to the interior. So.
Yeah. And then he says, that's the Webb universe shot. Let me see. Oh, there we go. Sparkles. You could really see like the sparkles and the galaxies and all that stuff in there. It's very, very pretty. It's very cool.
Yes. And very sad in a sense. It makes you feel very small. The more you read about the galaxy or watch 2001 Space Odyssey or Tree of Life, you realize you're just like
back, like right here. Just floating, flying through all the place right here.
Yeah, when Ben's first draft had like speed lines and had her looking like Superman, just zipping through the universe, but I requested that let's make her small. Let's make the galaxy more vast. Let's give her a sense of isolation, because it's not like stepping off a train into another neighborhood. You're going through a whole vastness of nothingness, and when you're traveling from one end of the galaxy to the other. I hope we get there one day, maybe in our lifetime. Yeah. I don't know.
I really enjoy the storytelling in this, and I like the panels in it. Even when there's no writing per panel, like it says a lot, like just the colors and like the action and things that are happening in it. So like in this panel here, like she's just floating in the nothing, just flying around, and then you could see her just kind of like going fast through the galaxy, and then bam, landing.
There's no automatopoeias there. Yes, my letterer SK, he's very he's like an oracle in the indie comic book scene here in Australia, and I instructed that he not include automatopoeias. And if I could cite an influence, Alan Moore, if you read Watchmen, there is no automatopoeias. And then I read in one of his interviews that he took it out because onomatopoeias or sound words, they interrupt pacing, they interrupt flowing. And I 100% agree. Once I took them out, I found myself just going through the pages, more absorbed in the story, not having to stop myself and simulate those sounds in my mind. So I highly recommend it.
I also do too. And I like that each individual panel like that takes you into the art without those in there. And I like that a lot. Yes, and you can see the art, you can see the backgrounds, you can see all that, the artwork that is in there, and it says a lot in each tiny little panel. And I don't think it's needed, so that's cool. Also, I really like these, which is really cool. Hold on, let me do this. CJ says he sounds a bit British. Have Glenn translate.
We've been in Australia for what 33 years now, and we were colonized. This is a successful colony, I should say, because the colonizers still rule here. And some of the Australian, like Kate Blanchett, a lot of the Australians, especially in the upper class, still have that sort of British dilution in their Australian accents. And then on other parts of the country, you'll get like Paul Hogan, Crocodile Dundee, or this must be where the cool kid. I have never been accused of being a cool kid.
Well, you are a cool kid. Today, this is where you are now. So you're getting your cool kid boots, I guess. Yes, it does look great.
Thank you very much. Massive compliment to the artists.
Yes. Okay, so good question. So you're a fan of this art. It looks easy to look at. Very much so. And I will get more into the book on that so you can see a little bit of that. The Kickstarter for issue 1 has already ended. So you can buy the issue 1, either physical copy, either online, which the links are being posted right now, or you can buy it through Amazon Kindle at the moment, which is also available on the chat and in the links here. But issue 2 is going to be available also on Kickstarter coming up soon. Do you know roughly when that's going to be launching?
These guys, Comex, my intrepid publishers, they have an eye for February. For a February launch. Yep, that's right. But that means March. Yeah, let's not that I'm complaining. February, March, I'm okay with that. We still got to build an audience here and there.
Perfect. So if you would like to sign up for the pre-launch link there, so when issue 2 does launch, you'll be able to get notified right here from Kickstarter. Now, Jason has a very good question here about the Kickstarter. So if you're purchasing it through the Kickstarter shop from Australia, do you have a person taking care of the shipping from the United States, or is it shipping from Australia?
Oh, no. Well, what happened with issue 1 was it was deemed to be more cost effective to have a US printer, and they printed and shipped from the US. So there won't be any extra cost incurred there.
Yeah.
But if you want to support these guys, the comics shop, and if you do have a bit of extra cash, why not help circulate the indie comic book community? I mean,
for sure.
They're comics. You have the link. Yeah, you could buy a physical copy there. I think there's 34 copies left. And before we, if we decide to do another another round of printing. So I don't know how the economies of scale are right now, but I believe it's retailing for 15 AUD, which is probably like 8 USD or something like that.
Okay.
And then you put the shipping costs on top of that, and that's different for every state, different for every postal service that you choose. So if you want a physical copy, you can get it there. Digital copy, I mean, I know it might not be popular to use Amazon right now because who wants to support a monopoly, but their comic game is on point. I mean, their Kindle Create software. Yes, so do I. Their Kindle Create software is so great. I mean, you've seen it. You double tap and you isolate a panel, and it's so neat, and it's so user friendly, and it's so controllable, which you don't get with PDFs. So I opted to go with Kindle, and they also bought Comixology. Again, that was unpopular when it first happened in 2021, but I think things are coming back again. He's also a character created by K. Smith, Onomatopoeia. In what movie, or was it one of the comic books? Let me know. I love
let us know, Travis.
So if you're more of a digital reader, and statistics say 75% of readers are, then just hit us up on Amazon, and you don't have to bother with the shipping payments.
Definitely. And also, if you do want it, just in case, this came from Australia, and let me tell you, it came super duper fast.
All right.
Yeah, it came really fast. So I've had it for a while before I read it, but I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. And I gotta say, I love the use of colors that are in this book. They're lovely. And one of my favorite things as you're reading it are like these one-page panels of like the random space advertisements. They're great.
Right.
I love this. I love them. And I also love the different like species of aliens that you have in here. They're designed very lovely.
Yeah, a massive compliment to the artist, Ben, and you mentioned the coloring, and I would just like to give a shout out to Anthony Wilson Go. That's his last name. His last name is Go. Talk about a kinetic last name. His name is and I was talking to him last night. He's from the Philippines. Because we're working on the colors right now for issue 2, and then an earthquake struck.
Oh no!
Like I think it was a 7 on a Richter scale, and I'm sure he's okay. I looked up I looked it up on the news, and if you're watching it, Anthony, my thoughts are with you, and I hope you're okay.
Yeah,
and I'm sure he is.
To them. Hopefully, everyone's doing all right in the Philippines.
Yeah. I think the water took most of the earthquakes, as you know. Philippines is like 5,000 islands, so no, we haven't covered that at all. Okay, great. If
would you like to talk here? You want me to make you big for this?
Let's
talking about it.
Let's
want me to flip flop?
Godzilla me.
Right. Let's flip up. Boom! There you go.
There you go. Yeah. Okay, so I do have a background in politics, and and I'm also Filipino. So one of the craziest phenomena that is the post-war phenomena are people known as holdout soldiers. If you're familiar with the term of a holdout soldier, they're usually Japanese. I'm not sure if they transpired in the European theater of war, but they're Japanese most of the time. Now, they were stationed or dispatched to an island somewhere in Southeast Asia, mostly Philippines or Burma, and they were told by their commanding officers, usually only 1 or 2 guys, they said, secure this island for the Japanese army, so that in case of a battalion landing, we'll have all this space, we'll have a port ready. So what happens? Thing is the Allies, the British, and the American forces, the Russian forces, they were so good at cutting off enemy communications. They excelled at that. So, the bombs were dropped, the war ended, Yamamoto was killed, and what happened was that you still had several dozens of soldiers in all of these isolated islands who still thought that the war was going on. And as a result, like 30, 40 years after the war, they would grow old defending this island in the false belief that the Japan was still fighting the Allies, and civilians would see them. They'd still have vestiges of their uniform. They'd find traps. They'd be living in the dense parts of the jungles, and in some tragic instances, farmers or other civilians would be killed when they trespassed into the vicinity that they were protecting. And that definitely stuck in my mind. And if there are any holdout soldiers left alive, they would be in their 90s. They would be like Captain America age right now, and I don't doubt their existence. But I believe the last one was unearthed in 1980s. So that's the story that definitely stuck into my mind, and I thought, let's transpose that to a sci-fi setting. Instead of an island, let's use a planet. So that happens to that's the inciting incident of issue 1 of Stellarlands, where you have Anne Veliza, or Daphne as her real name is. She's dispatched to recover intel from a snow moon, and when she gets there, she meets 2 teenage soldiers who were born of parents who still thought an intergalactic war was raging, and as a result, both she and the 2 teenage girls that she meets, they come to an understanding when Daphne reveals that the war had ended, and they conspire to work together to battle both the elements and other hostile forces in the moon. I was about to say the island, but the moon, in order to accomplish the mission and get out of there. Of course, there are twists and there are turns, but yes, that's where I got that's where I got that idea from.
It almost looks like an island too, because of like the atmosphere that's on there. So it gives you kind of those vibes sometimes. But here, let me make me big for a second so I can show off some of this artwork here. So this is the main character here, but look at how well the expressions are done just from these several panels here. It's very lovely, and I like what your artist has done here.
Really nice. He's super talented. Yeah.
And then let me show you. Here's, and I like that you've gone. Here's the two little
the teenager aliens.
The teenager aliens that they run into. But I like that they give them their own flair for each individual like species of aliens that they run into. In the book, they're not your like typical, but you could tell they're all kind of slightly different. But I like that. I like that. That's interesting to me. And they have something very unique about them that I like a lot.
Yeah. There's a whole I got a whole network up my sleeve of aliens, and can't wait to set them all free and have people look at them.
Yeah. Oh, hello. How are you doing? Yes. So this Kickstarter has ended. The second one will be coming out, you said, probably around the beginning of the year for part issue 2. But if you want to pick this up, you could pick up the physical copy on the shop, and then you could pick up on Amazon the Kindle copy as well. And then this is amazing to me. Just here's another copy of the ads here, and these are so hilarious, and I love them.
I think they're not that far-fetched. I think these are really practical things that we would use in the future.
We could definitely use these in the future for sure.
Swift spinal inhibitor, anti-Karen device, exactly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, fantastic artwork for sure. Yes. Your favorite comic book YouTube villain is TM. You know, that's funny you say that, because I drew him as the devil one time during an episode of Between the Lines. Yes.
How much leash do you give them to play from your original script?
Oh, good question, Jason.
Oh well, the script itself is pretty solidified. I use Final Draft Pro. Final Draft Pro is a writing software which is probably more famous for its screenplay template, but there are several other templates that you can use. You could click on one, it'll give you a manuscript so you can write your great American novel. In my case, there is a comic book template, and it's so user friendly. Ben, the artist, was able to read it and make distinctions as to the panels, which is one of the main conceits of the software. So in terms of the script, in terms of the narrative, that so far there hasn't been any fracturing or restructuring. In terms of the visuals, the panels, I'm completely up into back and forth. Ben knows a lot about the layout and the design, and he does some really innovative things. The comic books, I mean, I'm more of a book reader, so but the comic books I do read, I don't necessarily, because they do such a good job of immersing you into that world that you don't really notice the panel structure. So like the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, for instance, I think that's like square panels, 6 to 9. Nothing really happens apart from the occasional splash page, and the story is so good and the characters are so engrossing that you never really notice the form. You're always immersed in the content. In that sense, I'm completely happy for Ben or the colorist to change the form to however they see fit. I know my limitations as an artist, as a person, as a human being, so and I've always got my best piece of advice for any comic book maker or anybody who creates, anybody who weaves a basket, or anybody who has a couple million to dump on a film, is to never lose that student mindset. Because the moment you think you know everything, you'll just stay in one place. So be a perennial student, be a person.
I agree so much. I think the more that you're hungry to learn and want to learn and keep going out there and expanding like your base of what you're looking at and stuff, the more that you're going to get inspired to create things, and that's nonstop. And you got to keep doing that. Also, I know Gary has also read this book too.
Yeah,
and he also
Gary
says
B.
it's a fun book. Yeah.
I believe he was my second YouTube review right after Evil Mike. Hey, Gary, how are you?
Hey,
Thank
Gary.
you for the review.
Yes, and I want to show you one of my favorite panels in this whole book. This whole page. I love this. The colors in this page are awesome. It's when they come across this
the base, yeah,
base right here. But the colors in this creature right here, it's like a land octopus type guy, are fantastic. But right here, where she's just doing the zoom into her eye, and you can kind of see from the gloss in her eye, just the creature is amazing. I love that.
We were just talking about, do I give the artist any leash? That eye, that was not written there. I had no part of that. That just sprung from the brain of Benjamin Worrell. So that's yeah. It doesn't change the scripting and the structuring. It definitely changes the form, and I'm totally okay with that because, like I said, be a student.
Yeah, it's an awesome book. So another thing that we were talking about earlier is how the panels kind of speak for themselves, and you really don't need a ton of those, action blurbs. No. It just speaks for themselves.
Look, there's laser blasts. You don't need a pew pew.
Exactly. You don't need a wow, whoosh, bam.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, no, it's quite there's a lot of action happening and a lot of stuff going on, and just the art tells itself, and you don't need to, blurb it all up with all that stuff. But I very much enjoyed this a lot.
Yeah. That was one of the difficult things for me, was to on the advice of my letterer SK, was to pare down the dialogue. Not necessarily the onomatopoeias were gone, but the dialogue I had to make it more concise for the medium, because I love reading plays. Hey, Taylor. Yeah. And I love reading novels, and who doesn't like a Shakespearean monologue here and there? And
you gotta have that sometimes.
I had to find a middle ground between my love for writing and panel communications. Yeah.
Oh, yes, Frog. If you go into the links down below, if you would like a physical copy, the link to the store.
If you
these
guys
shop comics shop down below, there's a link and you can click it to purchase it.
And hopefully the shipping costs aren't too expensive. I know it ranges from state to state in America. I've been to America. I have to say that I've been to America a few times actually, but it's like every state is another country. It feels like it,
Yeah, for sure.
And the shipping costs are, the shipping companies are different from state to state. If you want a digital copy, and if you have a Comixology or there you go. There's where you can get a physical copy. There's 34 copies left, and if you want to get a digital copy, just Amazon us.
There you go. Also, because when you do issue 2, are you also going to have another cover version available for a physical tier when you do issue 2?
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't understand the wording of the question. Will there be another physical version? Is that what you're saying?
So when you do your Kickstarter for issue 2, are you going to have a catch-up tier also include a physical copy?
Oh yes, of course. 1? Yeah. So you can have either both physical copies or both digital copies. Yeah, absolutely. But I want to stress this: you don't have to read an issue to get, because to understand what's going on in another issue. All the stories aren't happening on top of each other. All right, they're all happening at the same time. So yes, it says part 1 of 8, part 2 of 8, part 3 of, but you can read them in whatever order.
Nice.
And I mean, I had to find a way to tell the audience that there were going to be 8 issues, but I was conflicted in that. I didn't want people to think that you had to read them in a strict chronology. You can read them in whatever order that you want. Yeah, except of course for the epilogue. But I mean, that would yeah, a catch-up tier would definitely be on offer.
Perfect. Yeah.
Not that it's absolutely necessary. Read issue 1, issue 2 first, if you want. And yeah, I'd love to talk about issue 2 as
Perfect.
we
so the comic shop is where you get the physical copy, and then the Amazon is where you can get the link for the digital Kindle link here.
So. Yes, or Comixology, depending on what you use. I'm getting back on Comixology. It's great, and I just like saying Comixology.
It's
my comic book is on Comixology. Yeah, my comic book is on Kindle. My comic book is on Comixology. I mean,
your comic book is out there. That's fun. That's fun to say also. And then this will be launching, you said around February-ish.
February, yes. March. Yes. These guys said February, but I think that means March. So I think it'll
so if you click this, you could sign up for it, the pre-launch link, to get notified for when it does go live. So probably beginning of the year, February, March, it will go live for the Kickstarter there. So so you got physical copy there, you've got digital copy there, and you have the pre-launch link there for all of the Stellarlands right here. Yes, it's lovely. Another thing I like about the art style and the coloring too is, so everything, like when they're in the story wise, is like this blue white palette, and then when you're doing all of like the advertising off world where it has nothing to do with the story, it's like this oranges, and it's like the black border and the oranges color, and I like that a lot.
That idea, again, I'm a student. That idea came completely from the letterer. He wanted to make a complete distinction between the two worlds, and the fact that you pointed it up proves his creative instincts on the money. So there you go.
He did a great job. He did a great job. Yes, and this is very cool too, because normally, like when you see like the blues and things like that, it's nighttime and they're inside the base now, but you can see where like the blues are now muted, and they're like a different like tone to them, which is very cool. So you can see it changing over the course of the book.
Cold interior of the of an abandoned base. I really wanted that feel of abandonment, and one of the doors, one of the rolling shutters for the spacecrafts has been left open, so there's a breeze coming through, and then there's ice buildup. It's those little details that lift world building right up to an art form, and they're also fun to do. And like if we ever get to subsequent issues, you'll see some details that are interspersed throughout, which connects everything, both visually and in terms of narrative. So it's all there. Everything means something. Everything is tied up, and that's one of the huge lessons that I got from The Wire. I mean, if you watch that show, there's no loose ends. Everything is sharply connected and conclusively defined.
Very nice. I really like this, and I can't wait to see the other issues as well, because there's stuff that happens and it's like, no. No, I saved all the questions. We've not answered any questions, and you were taking a bubble bath. I hope you enjoyed your bubble bath. That sounds lovely. I do have 7 questions, but yes, did not get there yet. So but you can see the lovely space. Also, kudos to the spacesuits in this, because they're very unique as well, and they're not like the typical style like spacesuits. Like they got your own little flair to them, and I like it. I dig it.
Yeah. Well, Ben has, I think his last book before Stellarlands was also a sci-fi venture. It's called The Sheath. That might be his opus, but he brings a lot of knowledge of sci-fi world building onto the pages, and everything smacks in that sense. I'm not really a sci-fi guy, but the idea of holdout soldiers in space just screamed sci-fi. So I decided to immerse myself there more. And one of the things that annoys me about amazing sci-fi creations like Star Wars or Star Trek is the lack of grounded science. And it's like when you in Star Wars, you enter a spaceship and then you exit a spaceship. It's like going to another neighborhood. That's not how it should be. I mean, first of all, it takes ages to get anywhere, and time is different in Jupiter than it would be on Earth. You'll age less in Jupiter, but by the time you come back, you'll be an old man. Time dilation is definitely by the time you come back, you'll be a young man. Everyone else will be old. Time dilation is a thing. Gravity, it's like the gravity in every single planet in Star Wars is the same. Gravity would be different all the time. And we have to figure out ways.
They do not get into that in Star Wars. They do not.
Yeah. And
other series they do. Other series they do, but they do not get into that.
In Star Wars.
Yeah. Which is funny because some of my favorite sci-fi writers that write for Star Wars don't mention that in those books, but they mention it in their other series.
All right. Yeah, that might be a criteria thing for Star Wars. Not that I'm complaining. Star Wars
could be. Yeah.
Interesting. There is a TV show called The Expanse, if you've heard of it, which is very grounded. Almost the detail is so plentiful and present that it almost overwhelms you. There's everything from how politics would play out in the moon and the different types of gravity and how people would live on asteroid belts and what would happen to their bone density. It's really great. That's the stuff that I love with.
That's with laser swords and Force ninjas.
Yeah.
Hey, we haven't started talking about Trekkies either, and I know there's a bunch in the chat also. But no, it's space is fascinating to me.
We've barely scratched the surface. That's why, we can do anything. Really, I mean, we don't know anything, so we might as well just plow the depths of our imagination. Yeah. Have I thought of? I think August Wilson, the playwright, said it best. Because August Wilson, he wrote some incredible plays like Fences and Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and he's a preeminent African American playwright. He was on the Charlie Rose show, and Charlie asked him that question, and as a playwright, his answer really resonated with me. He said he couldn't do it because there are no rules in writing novels. And I like when you're writing a play, there's a sandbox there. Everything has to take place on stage. There's dialogue going. You write a character's name, dialogue. There's structure there. There's also the same thing in comic books. You write a panel, you describe a panel, character dialogue. When you play within that sandbox and when you understand that sandbox, you can build your sandcastle better. But with a novel, there is just no rules. You can do whatever. You can start at any point. You can end at any point. Characters don't have to speak. There could be no characters. I mean, like Joshua Ferris wrote a book called "This Is How It Ends," told from the point of view of an office or of people working within an office. And so on. Naked Lunch. Who wrote Naked Lunch again? William S. Burroughs wrote this book that I've been trying to get through for years. But basically, the whole conceit is that you could open it at any page and start, and you'd get the same impact. So that's probably why I can't. Well, I wouldn't dare jump onto a novel at the moment because no rules. You have to create your own sandbox first, and that just seems too overwhelming for me. I right now I need a sandbox, which is not to say that it's out of the question.
Do you have any plans for any further series besides Stellarlands?
I would like to work on I'm still getting used to the language. A graphic novel is what? It's like 48 to 99 pages. Is that correct? Or 42 to 9 or something?
Oh, probably. That's always confusing me because people call it so many different terminologies. There's like a trade paperback, which is like collected editions
of different graphic novels or something.
Yes, maybe Glenn. Glenn's got a lot. Glenn's got a phenomenal terminology of all this stuff. But yeah, so like a trade would be okay, if you take all like a couple of these and make a trade out of them, and then an omni would be all 8.
Yep.
Yes.
What would you say would be like 80 or 100 pages? That's a graphic novel, right?
That would just be a graphic novel, right? Because it's just one, or that'd be like a hard cover. Yeah, no graphic novel. Yeah.
I definitely have an idea in store for a graphic novel. Something about horror is something different. Yeah, you don't know either. We don't know, man.
Yeah.
We don't know.
See, but growing up, it would always be okay. So you would have like your single issues in a volume. Floppies, and then every now and then they would put like a contained one together for a trade where they would put them all together. Or then they would make an omni hardcover later on, or and then they would do your annual. And then every now and then they would do like a trade, which was like a thick square bound one, but it would be like a single weird annual issue that had nothing to do with any of the continuation story. So I'm assuming it could be, I'm assuming it could just be like by itself or like, which is very strange to me. Because I have a whole bunch on my shelf here that are single volume trades.
Pick one out. Let's have a look at what you got there. Let's judge your comic book taste.
Okay. Well, I have a very random collection of stuff here. So, okay. So I have the paperbacks of these, which are the trades. So these are several volumes together, which was like volume 1s and 6 of these. Then I also have volumes 1, 2, and 3 of the omnis, which are like 30, 20, which are like 30 volumes each. These are like
those
just
volumes,
a couple.
There's several individual issues in those volumes, or is it just
one? A couple? They're like 4 issues in each one.
And that creates a volume. Oh man, no,
it creates one volume. But then I also have some that are a single one, but it's one issue, just a fat volume, which is weird.
Oh man, I'm gonna forget all this tomorrow. But
So like my Cyber Force. Okay, so there's a couple that are trades that are not considered comic books because they are not on comic book collector apps, which are very strange. They came out in the 80s and early 90s. There's some for Cyber Force. There's some for like Wolverine and some other ones. They're fat. They're not this thick. They're smaller than this. They fit in a comic bag and board. They're considered a trade. They're not a magazine. Considered trades. And they are not considered a comic because they will not put them on a comic collector acts, but they have like the ISBN numbers on them. So they're considered either a book or a trade, even though they're floppy like this. And they're single issue, thicker volumed, like a trade, like these, just smaller volume. And they are single issues that came out maybe like seasonally. They're weird. And I have a bunch of those from the 80s and the 90s. Yeah, it's very strange how some of this wording happens in the comic industry. But yeah, I have a lot of that. And you can still find them like in dollar bins every now and then. Like it's very random. Yeah.
Well, that's why I have a publisher. That's why guys are it. I haven't. I don't know.
Yeah. Yes, you're always judging. Yeah. So if you think you have one book, it's a graphic novel. Okay, so a lot of people also have thicker, like 48 to 68 page things that are just graphic novels. But they also consider them comic books. It's very strange, like what people call books now. It's just fascinating to me. I don't know. Because a lot of times like, when you do independent books, they're more along the lines of like a graphic novel than it is a comic book, because a comic book is thinner than a graphic novel. Most graphic novels are like what, 48 to 64 pages?
Yeah, they'd be thicker.
Yeah, thicker.
Yeah, but still, that's not a lot of pages. Like 48.
No, it's still not a lot of pages. Yeah, you have a lot of trade paperbacks. Yeah, a lot of trades and a lot of graphic novels. Yeah, trade is a reprint of content. Yeah, see, there's that. But then also you can get a trade that it's by itself, because they did that a lot in the 80s and 90s, where they just came out with a trade by itself. That was by itself. That wasn't even published as a comic. It was published as a trade. So if you even to look them up on like comic apps, they won't show up because they're not really considered comics. It's very bizarre. I got a whole ton of them that are just sit in a box because they're not considered comics, but they are. It's weird. But they're single off issues.
Okay. Slowly wrapping my head
that'll
around
be a
it.
fascinating. Actually, that'll be a fascinating thing. I should get some of my different format styles of books together, and then do like a
Categorize them. Yeah.
showcase, because there's a ton of different versions of books out there, and I don't think people realize that, because there's some that are like categorized as books, and some that are categorized as comics.
And what's the distinction? You know, yeah.
Yes. So like Wolverine Blood, there was like the Jungle one. There was like about 6 different things, like the Meltdown one, a few other ones. The Meltdown one was a series, but these were single issues. They were square bound books. They were considered trades, but they were not actually considered comics because they don't go on apps. If you look up the apps, it's very strange. Yeah. And then a lot of times back in like the 90s, they would do like the hardcover trades like this, and then put it in a book, and it's more considered a book than it is a omni or a hardcover trade, which is very strange to me.
All right. And how many pages is that?
So this is supposed to be, I don't know, how many is this?
That looks interesting, by the way. What is it?
So this is the Senryaku with the Ferrada cover on it. And it's supposed to be the whole collected edition of just this series, which I think is 2 or 3 issues here. I'm not sure how many pages this actually is. Let's see.
Does it continue, or is it self-contained, beginning, middle, end?
So this is the entire collection of this one tiny series here. Hold on, let me see. It's got a lot of forwarding and making of stuff in it, so there's a lot of extra stuff in it. And it's cool too because the whole thing is set, it's like frontwards, backwards, sideways. Let's see. I don't know how many pages it actually is because there's no page numbers in it, but it's just like the whole series of the Senryaku series. Okay. It's got a lot of like extra stuff in it. But he did just release the whole Omni for the entire She collection, and this is actually part of it. So it took all like the little mini series of it and put it together. So that's actually out now. But this is just one teeny tiny volume of maybe 2 or 3, I think, that issues that were in this volume here, which is part of this. Which is nice. This is just the Ferrada art for this cover here. Yeah. But it's the Senryaku collected edition. Yeah.
Yeah, nice, gorgeous.
Yeah. So
well, good to know.
Yeah, like the Wolverine saga. Yeah, but yeah, so that's the one thing. But there's it's a weird. Yeah, it's okay. We got it. But yeah, there's like a couple weird stories that are like single issue. Some are reprints, and then some are just like by itself. It's weird. I'll pull them out for like another thing, and then we do a late night hang or whatever. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about.
Yeah, nothing like a late night hang.
Yeah, no, we do a lot of them. Yeah, so I'll show you. Okay, I could tell you. I know some stuff sometimes. Yes, so I could tell you right now the Cyberforce one that I'm talking about. There's a the Tin War or Tin something one. That's a trade paperback, which doesn't really pull up on any of the apps. But there's a lot of like these weird trade paperback stuff that pops up every now and then. But yeah, I have the whole Cyberforce thing over there. But yeah.
All right.
There you go. Yeah. I totally just went off on a tangent on trades and whatever.
That's a lot of goal setting there. That's aspirational. It's definitely relevant to the question you asked, which is, if I'm working on something outside of Stellarlands, and I guess it would be a graphic novel then, because it's 100 pages.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's good to be able to categorize things to know the medium in which you're working.
Yeah. Because I've been pulling. So when I go to cons now, I haven't really been doing like the monthly or whatever from like the main companies anymore. What I've been doing is I've been finding like the smaller publishers or the indie guys at cons, and I've just been buying their single issue stuff. And usually it's a fatter volumed book. Either they call it a comic, a novel, whatever they want to buy it, and then that's what I buy. That's what I've been picking up more of. Or I've been backing Kickstarters where it's a larger item and they just come out with more stuff like maybe once or twice a year, kind of things like that kind of stuff. But that's where I've been gravitating more towards the last like 2 years or so, more heavily geared towards like the indie kind of stuff. I'm having just fun.
Yes,
Fun
yeah,
with
yeah.
stuff.
I like, yeah, if you can, yeah, I definitely recommend like supporting artists if whatever they have on offer. That's definitely what I gravitate more towards, artist alleys, than I
Yes.
do the commercial ventures. Not that I don't have anything, against those bigger commercial ventures, but I don't need David Harbour's autograph. I don't need a selfie with him. I'd rather have something, more deeper and requires a lot more effort in its creation than a signature or a selfie. And that's why I completely recommend that people venture and swim outside the mainstream and go into the artist alleys and see what the indie world has to offer. And
all the way to the back of the tables as well. If there's people just sitting there by themselves, just go say, hey, make their day. Just go see
All right.
they're by themselves, just looking like they're bored. Just go say hi. You might find your best read ever at one of those tables.
Yeah, definitely you'll find a challenging read. When you don't have a corporate overlord whipping you into a certain shape, then you can spread your wings. Not really spread your wings. I'm sure there are monetary limitations, but at least you'll be more prone to taking risks. Which describes my relationship with Artist Alley. Yeah.
Also, hey Pops, I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're back home from the hospital.
Oh, is everything okay? Papa Wheelie? Is Papa Wheelie?
He had breathing issues, and he had to go to the hospital. So hopefully he is back home and okay.
I thought a motorcycle incident because of his name, Papa Wheelie.
He's in a wheelchair with a breathing tube. So yeah.
Sorry, man. That was a terrible.
Yeah. It's okay. Here. If you see his thing here, you can't really tell, but that's him with his belt running people over. Saying.
Oh, that's a Universal Championship belt, WWE.
Yeah, he's really into wrestling. Yeah.
Yeah. That belt is hardly ever defended. Yeah, and the guy's had it for like 2,000 days. It's great if you don't have to defend it like every week. I mean, come on.
Hey, I mean, come on. Yeah. We got some dudes.
Yeah.
We got a lot of wrestling. There's actually tonight is Hustlemania. And if you don't know what that is, every 2 weeks there's a wrestling comic book show where guys put on personas of wrestlers and they battle with comic books.
You know what? I used to be a big wrestling fan.
Yeah.
He used to be, but my favorite wrestler, I don't know if I should say this, but my favorite wrestler was 2007. And then after that, I just stopped watching.
It's okay.
It was Chris Benoit. Yeah.
Okay.
You heard of him?
He was a very technical wrestler.
Yes, and he murdered his family, and that was a shock to 2007. I would have been 21. That would have been a shock, because when I was watching wrestling, Australia didn't really get WWF. We got WCW. And WCW had Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero, and when they moved to WF, so did I, and that was awesome seeing them excel there. But then they both passed away, and then my reason for watching wrestling just stopped. So it's awkward,
my bro and I were really big from like the mid 80s to about right when you either got into it or stopped, about 2007 when we stopped watching. But we were huge into wrestling for a long time.
Was it for the same reason you stopped?
It
I'm
just
sure
kind
he
of
lost a
got,
lot of fans.
I
Yeah,
just stopped. Wasn't the same magic anymore to me.
yeah.
Yeah.
1980s. That's old. That's like the first WrestleMania. That's old
I'm old.
school, man. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Also, bitchin' profile pic change, Kev. Way to go, Kev. Nice. Yeah, he does great work.
Oh, that's a profile change. He changed his
We
profile.
did, yeah. He has a new profile pic. That's very dope, Kev. Yeah.
That's Mad
Actually,
Max, is it? Mad Max Fury Road?
yeah, it looks like it. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
probably. I'd say his own art. Yeah, he's got sick
Yeah,
art
that's
as
cool.
well.
Oh, I love that movie. That movie is incredible.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
80s equals rad. WW. Okay, figure drawing. I'm gonna tell you right now. When I was watching it, it was a WWWF. Oh, mic drop. That's how old I
That's
am.
Vince McMahon Senior. Yeah, that's
Yeah, that's how old I was. Yeah, no, to me, it would always be the WWF. When it started changing to the WWE, that's kind of when I started checking out because it just lost its pizzazz to me. Oh, Kyle, you're heading out. See you later.
Hey
Yeah,
Kyle. Thank you
yeah,
for sticking around here.
yeah. So that was very shocking when that happened,
That
actually, and
was, yeah.
people were saying that not to defend him or anything, but something to do with the injuries that he sustained
Yeah,
after all the years of
CTE,
his
yeah,
wrestlings, and
concussions,
something
yeah.
to do with like the neck and head trauma that he had is
Yeah.
might have been reasons that led up to that, but that's just yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It
Yeah,
was
let's
hard.
change the subject if that's okay.
Yes, let's
You know,
please do that. I
like
have
pretty much,
some
yeah, yeah.
questions saved in here.
To protecting
Gotta save the pandas. Oh, also, you did mention that you have Filipino roots. Did you know that Will Portacio is doing a Filipino talent search right now? And you did mention that you have artist friends that might be looking for work right now. So have them connect with him and enter his talent search. It's strictly only for Filipino creators at the moment.
Okay, great. Well,
Yeah.
if you could post up a link somewhere, that'd be awesome.
It's on. I don't have anything pulled up, but I will link you after this. It's on his Instagram right now. He posted the talent search out earlier. I believe it was last night, but yes.
So what's he looking for? Artists like
Actually, I'll pull it up
artists?
right now. I'll pull it up right now and link it in the chat.
Yeah, yeah.
One
Well,
second.
I'm strictly stick figures, but
Stick
my,
figures.
I have a very talented colorist.
Oh, okay. I
Stellarlands.
think
He's,
it's I think it's just about everybody. He's doing a whole full-on talent thing. Oh, let me see. I noticed this last night. I was like, oh, that's cool. I know a lot of people. Then they're doing a portfolio review. And they're going to be doing it for pencilers, inkers, colorists, letters, cover artists. And it's possibly for Marvel comics as well. And there's a link for it and everything. I don't know when the deadline is, but I guess, it's also for the Super Manila 2023, whenever that's happening. So if you get it in now, they're going to do portfolio reviews and all that stuff for that happening in Manila. So I'm actually going to send that out to my friend because I actually have some peeps in Manila that do comic art. So if you guys are looking for that and you guys are in the Philippines, go check that out. Wills is awesome and he's a great mentor as well. But yeah, check that out.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Yeah, check that out.
All caps and a exclamation mark. He's his name unhinged.
But yeah, he's a great guy. So if any of you, I highly doubt it, but I do have friends that are in the Philippines. We'll be at that con. Go for it. He's going to be doing portfolio reviews, but there is a link in that link to submit your portfolios and reviews for that. So yeah, he's doing a whole full-on Filipino talent search. Look at that.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I'll send it to Anthony.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Like I said, there was an earthquake last night while I was talking to Anthony, the colorist. This might buck up his spirits. I looked it up on Google. I mean, there was only one casualty. I mean, one is too much, of course, but it could have been a lot worse. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So I'm sure he's okay. Yeah.
What else we got here? Possibly. You never know. I'm tempted to do one of those 23andMe things just to see, but I'm also not tempted.
Yeah.
Based on
Doesn't it come up that everyone comes from Africa, from the Horn of Africa? It's like that's one of the
it's
more
coming. Yeah, a lot of people are having similar roots is what she's been finding. Oh, what's up, HH? How are you doing?
The headless hammerhead guide.
Yeah. Okay, we have some questions in the chat that I have saved for you. All right, you ready? Len wants to know, what is your favorite film of all time?
Oh man, you shouldn't ask a film buff. Okay, I got a bachelor's degree in filmmaking, so that changes all the time. Right now, I would have to say it's The Graduate by Mike Nichols. It came out in 1967. Dustin Hoffman's fresh graduate character has an affair with his father's business partner's wife, and he ends up falling in love with his daughter. And then you have the whole classic scenes of him hitting the glass, Elaine, and she's got her wedding dress, and then they escape the clutches of the family, and they board a bus, and they go right to the end. It's just one of those. It's very melancholy because for the first half of the film, there's a lot of fetal images of Benjamin just lazing around in his pool, lost. He had all of these major accomplishments in college, but now he's in the real world. He doesn't know what to do, so he just sabotages his own life by having an affair with an older woman. And we can all relate. We've all been lost before. That's why that film resonated so beautifully.
It also has a fantastic soundtrack.
Yes. One word, Benjamin. Plastics. so many great lines. And the cinematography and the editing, it's very seamless. It's also very artistic. You have some very odd scenes, like a toaster just popping up after a conversation, or staring at a fish tank for long periods of time. It's beautifully directed, beautifully acted. Dustin Hoffman is still alive. Unfortunately, I think he might have been canceled, like a lot of actors of his generation have been. Hopefully that doesn't last long, because he's great. He was great in that movie. Yeah, he's so good, and you gotta. I think that's recommended viewing for any human being, because we've all been lost. We've all been at that point where we don't know what to do with our lives. Some of us engage in self-sabotage, but sometimes finding a direction, finding focus, finding a passion is half the battle. And he needed that. And when I watched that, I was at a point in time when I needed that too. So that is right now. I mean, it changes, but yeah, I'd have to say that it's The Graduate. Yeah, huge. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Is there one movie that you've seen one time and you're like, nope, I'm done. I am not watching this movie. Not another single time again. Ever again. Done.
Look, I don't have any kids myself. I don't think I want kids. I don't think I particularly like kids. But I just can't stand violence to children. My emotional responses to children dying is worse than anything else. And there's like Manchester by the Sea, which I saw. Casey Affleck was so amazing in that film, so amazing. Just going into depth of depression and disarray. But you realize that in his character development, why he's stuck in chronic depression is because of the death of his children. And you meet, that's what makes it even worse. They die in a house fire, and you meet them, and there's two girls and a baby boy, and they're the cutest, most adorable children. And then you realize they die in a fire later. And I know some friends of mine who are parents. They were like, nope, not doing this. And but I was able to. It's written by Kenneth Lonergan, who's also a playwright, and yeah, the authentic Boston dialogue. And I've been to Boston. The whole city is like a cafe. I love it there, and I bought my copy of Blankets there. I love Boston. I think it really it doesn't take place in Boston. It takes place in Manchester by the Sea, but that's Massachusetts, and yeah, it definitely captures the character and the environment there.
Okay.
But that's kids dying or kids getting hurt. I mean, I can't do it. The worst are documentaries like the Robin Hood trail killing. That's like 9 hours of. There's 3 documentaries, 3 hours each. That's 9 hours of this really engrossing documentary of these 3 children who were found in a riverbed, killed, beaten to death, and then you
sad.
have 3 teenagers who spent 18 years in jail, and then I don't mean to trivialize it because it all happened, but there are twists and turns, like obvious suspects suddenly start to believe the most vehement critics of the accused start to be their supporters. People who you wouldn't think might be suspects suddenly become suspects. New information comes out, new science comes out. You realize the incompetence of the lawmakers and everyone from the governors to the people handling the science in the courtroom. It's the forensic analysts. It's a whole universe, and I've already invested 9 hours. I can't put myself.
I go down a deep dive in all those like documentaries and like murder TV things and stuff like that. But I'd say the one movie that I watched one time, and I don't want to watch it again just because of how frustrated I was watching it, was the Ryan Reynolds movie Buried.
Oh yes,
that one just it just
claustrophobia
frustrated me to no end. It was a good movie.
That's I love those. There's a lot of good one set films, and that's definitely up there.
For sure.
But that's I gotta say that's at least kids don't get hurt in Courage, that's
kids. I don't like seeing kids or animals getting hurt. I don't like either one of those.
Yeah. Hey, Danny.
Hello, Danny.
My Mycelium is an Australian comic book that we reviewed, and I think he's just doing a bit of cross promotion. So go look us up on the comics site. It's called Indie Aussie Comic Reviews, and you'll see Danny and myself there talking up some Australian comic indie titles.
Perfect.
And that's some of the most interesting and fascinating minds in comic books are working with these guys right now.
Oh, I will definitely do that. Because I saw some of the titles that in the back here that you guys have done, and I actually know a lot of these titles because I follow a lot of these guys. I know Battery Hen.
Yes. Good read. Yeah. So I recommend anyone is in Australia or anyone who doesn't mind the shipping cost to just go to the comics shop, and you won't be disappointed. There are some really, really interesting, very out of mainstream artwork and titles that you can definitely indulge in. And Shane, who is the founder, has an affinity towards Australian comic books in particular, mainly because we're so underrepresented internationally, and I hope that changes soon. And with people with institutions such as Comex.
Yes, you need to get out there because there's a lot of really, really, really good stuff out there that I've actually read several of these. I had this back page here, so that's fun.
Battle for Bustle, that's another sci-fi, and Foes, that's good for kids, I think. I don't know, some people say it might be too violent for kids, but we sold a few copies to children at a Comic-Con, and I think I think they had fun with that.
Well, they probably had fun. All right, we got a couple more questions here.
Oh,
Rude wants to know. Yeah. What supervillain would you get drunk with?
I don't know. Mark Zuckerberg. No, he's not. What comic book supervillain would I like to get drunk with? Do you ever get Nazi vibes from Mr. Sinister? Because
I think he's hot.
He's obsessed with genetic perfection. It's like a pollution of Darwinism. It just inserted into the X-Men universe, and I would just absolutely just love to get him drunk and pick his brain and see the kind of upbringing that would inform this messed up this messed up eugenic mutant. Like how perfect do you have to be, and when you look at his own henchmen, like the Marauders, they're all messed up. They're far from the paragons of perfection that he's looking for. So how do you reconcile that hypocrisy? And also he's got a cool voice, right? I mean, he's got that sort of hollowed out, multiple sounding voice.
I mean, I like bad guys. I mean, what can I say?
You like that? He kind of looks dead. I mean, he's definitely got that.
I kind of have a thing for dead guys.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Aussie guys in our community. And so Lee from Whack Comics goes to a lot of the conventions, and he'll show a lot of cosplayers out there, and he'll go and he'll talk to a few of the comic creators out there, and I like seeing that because I like when people showcase different communities. It's amazing.
Yeah, our cosplay game is on point. Sugar Skulls. We were talking about sugar.
We were talking about sugar. Yeah, we were. Stop sugar. Okay, that was a good question. And somebody else earlier said that they would get drunk with Lobo. I mean, I would get drunk with Lobo only because he's my hubby, and that needs to happen.
Lobo's an asshole.
He is my hubby. He's an asshole, but he's my hubby, and I love him dearly.
Being a bounty hunter, though, that's such a scummy job. It's like you fail to make bail, and you gotta bring him in.
Space bounty hunter.
Yeah, I guess that's what makes it cooler. He was voiced by Brad Garrett in that episode of Justice League. I thought he was hilarious. Are you sure?
He's not a villain. He's not a villain. He's not a villain. He's misunderstood. He's not a villain, and he is just bringing in bad guys. I'm just saying. Come on. What superhero death would you like to be a part of?
What superhero death?
Yeah. So usually his question is, if you could kill any superhero, what superhero are you going to kill? And why? And how? And they can't come back. That's usually his question. So I think that's what he meant. But he was mid bubble bath at the time, so I think he got a little soft.
All right. Okay. I got to say that my favorite run of X-Men is The Age of Apocalypse.
Ooh, okay.
Which is alternative universe, because you get
right.
villain Scott Summers, or tweener Scott Summers, and villain Havoc, and then you got all the human characters. Like Spider-Man never came to be, so Gwen Stacy became the freedom fighter, and then you have this weird iteration of the Four Horsemen of Apocalypse. It was definitely very, very engrossing, and it's very thick. And I remember going through that really quickly in my teens. And the only reason that happened was because Professor Charles Xavier was killed. That gave birth to the most interesting and multifaceted and tragic and moving and emotionally rewarding comic book runs that I've ever read. Something that is just literature, very literary, almost Chekhovian in its depression. And I gotta give it up. I gotta say it would have to be Professor Charles Xavier, Age of Apocalypse.
Okay. He says a Joe Mads run is and was underrated.
I'm not sure, but it was the first one. It was the one that came. It was the one that came out. It was several issues, and yeah, it gave us Blink, and it gave us this very detailed, intricate political universe, and we got to go to all these parts of the globe to see how mutants were faring and humans were faring. Mr. Sinister is in it. I recommend that you read it, because he's not. Yeah. Have you read? Yeah, he's not really a bad guy. He's sort of trying to sabotage Apocalypse, and there's something so pathetic about him, because he's almost being like overwhelmed by his own creation in Nate Summers, and there's love and there's fear and there's something there. Yeah, it's the most complicated Sinister has ever been. And yeah, Blink in the films was great too. Yeah, and she survives the undoing of the Age of Apocalypse. So yeah, she's there in comic book lore forever. So yes, to answer your question, yeah, to just because of the world that it gives out, it would be amazing to see. It would not be amazing, but it would be beneficial from a story point of view for Charles Xavier to die. But that's like Charles Xavier is Martin Luther King, man. So it's just it's just for purely narrative, selfish reading reasons. You don't want to kill Martin Luther King, for God's sake. Yeah.
No, you don't. Also, this is true. He created a lot of unique things that became popular in comics, and because of him, manga-ish style became more accepted in the 90s. So thanks, Mads, for doing that.
I gotta get started on manga. It's the backwards reading that I have to get through. Yeah.
Depends which version of a manga you get. If you get 90s comics, you get the 90s anime comic of some books. They're read regularly like a comic.
Mm-hmm.
But just the 90s comic version. It's interesting how that works. Some Korean ones are read correctly. They're also read backwards, but the other way. So you get very confused on which way you could read it.
Sensibilities are completely Western. Yeah, is king. Yep, that is true. Also, yeah, yes, he did. After he converted to Islam and went to Mecca and interacted with white people and Asian people. Yes.
Hello,
what is going on K-pop?
Yes. Yeah. Do you want me to tell you what's going on in K-pop? Because there's some hot news happening in the world of K-pop.
Let's hear it.
Yes, there's a lot of interesting things happening in the world of the YG family with G-Dragon and Union. But also, I still have more questions for you. Let's get to those first.
Yeah, let's do it.
This is a two-parter coming from TM. Part 1 is, who is your favorite DC Comics superhero? And then, who is your favorite DC villain?
Okay. You know what? These are going to be completely unoriginal answers, but yeah, classics don't become classics for no reason. And
okay.
I have to say that my favorite DC superhero is Batman, because he muscles his intellect more than he does his brute strength.
Okay.
He could. I don't think Superman could run a business or run an army, or even fight, intellectually without his powers. He punches hard and he flies fast. But I think if Superman had the Ra's al Ghul martial arts training, he'd be unstoppable. Not that he already isn't, but I definitely appreciate Batman for his intellect, and his stories are more interesting. He's a creature of the. He's got some trauma there. Yes. Not to minimize trauma, but trauma is sexy. Trauma is like taking away your rubber ducky and making you dark and forming.
He does have that sexy I'm in a cave thing going on. Yeah.
It's hard to mess up Batman. I mean, even George Clooney has his merits when he's
even with his nip suit. I mean, it's still pretty good. But
That's
also,
Joel Schumacher
there's
to the
something
yeah,
more ballsy about him too, because he doesn't actually have powers. Superman has all the powers in the
exactly.
world, and he's out there risking his life every time he goes out there just to protect, the city.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
and in Justice League they did try to remake Batman with his genetic offspring. I forget his name, like Batman 2000 or someone. Do you know who I'm talking about? But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not sure. But I remember Amanda Waller said that they came up short in this new iteration of the Batman, and she said you don't quite have his beautiful brain, and
Yeah.
that speaks volumes about why so many people are so enamored with this character. And I gotta say that Robert Pattinson's interpretation that delved a lot into his detective skills more than his gadgets. Yeah, and who doesn't like detective novels? Who doesn't like Agatha Christie or Arthur Conan Doyle, or even Citizen
Yeah.
Kane, which itself is a detective
I
film.
actually enjoyed the Batman movie, and I want to see what the second one does, because they took all that time to develop those characters, and I like where they went with the Selena Kyle character, because they
Oh,
took
it
her
was
back
so
to her
cool. Yes.
actual origins of the street. But I
Mhm.
like that, and I can't wait to see what happens with that, because I enjoyed that. But yeah, his take on the character was interesting, because it was like he wasn't really Batman yet. He was like learning to become Batman and figuring out who he was as Batman, and I actually enjoyed that.
Yeah, Raymond, The Big Sleep. I love that novel. Yeah, Mike Spillane, know the name, don't know the game. Uh, yeah, but what I liked about that Batman as well, it was even darker in that you find out that Thomas Wayne himself was corrupt, so that murkiness is also dilutes Batman's motivations as well. Yeah, that's what we were talking about this before with sci-fi. When you make it grounded, this is what I think. This is a possibility of what Batman would be, almost in a in the real world. Although Alan Moore did did succeed to do that with Watchmen. What superheroes would be like in the real world?
Ooh, yeah.
They'd be jokes. They'd be outcasts like Rorschach. They'd be has-beens. People wouldn't be interested with them. In Alan Moore's universe, they'd prefer to be reading comic books about pirates, and superheroes are just these entities on the news that you get annoyed with. And superheroes, you have to have a death wish. That's something that was very common with the comedian or Rorschach, even Dr. Manhattan himself. They all had mental problems. They were in possession of a death wish, and I think you need to do that in order to become a hero. Or for those reasons, and many more. That's why I definitely love the Batman character. He would be my favorite DC superhero.
Nice.
And for almost identically the same reasons, my favorite DC villain would be Lex Luthor,
Okay.
because again he has that. Yeah, he's got zero. He's got no powers. Even with all that, with all his resources, he's going to be surrounded by incompetent henchmen who don't necessarily bring his plans to fruition. And it would be interesting to see them match wits, and they did in an in an episode of the Dark Knight animated series, and I think that was way too short lived. Batman scared the crap out of Lex Luthor.
The animated series was so good.
Yes, and it had the Tim Burton atmosphere. Tim Burton's. I think it was the same score, but it's the same. Yeah.
Batman is powerless, but so overpowered.
Yeah. Amanda Waller put it best. His beautiful brain. His brain, man. Yeah.
It's his brains and the fact that he's fearless. Really, he really is just out there.
That's trauma.
Yeah.
That's trauma. I mean, some people turn to alcoholism or drugs in order to deal with or repair unresolved childhood trauma, but Batman turns to vigilantism, and it just so happens that he's incredibly intelligent and has infinite resources. So that's a combination. Yeah, that's an inevitable combination of an effective superhero, which we probably wouldn't see in the real world, but if we did, the Batman movie would probably be the closest that we got.
Yeah, sure. Also, Frogballer says he was at a goth bar last year and some guy came dressed as Batman and he hasn't liked Batman since.
He didn't pull it off, I guess.
He did not pull it off. I think that's correct. And as Figure says right here, you should have bought him a drink. You would have probably enjoyed it way more. Just saying. Same question, but for Marvel. Who is your favorite Marvel hero and who is your favorite Marvel villain?
Okay. I think okay, that's yeah. Well, I love the MCU. I mean, a lot of people say they don't, but they do, or else they wouldn't have an opinion on it otherwise. Yeah, if I could just isolate my answers to the MCU, because I don't think because in terms of comic books, I did watch I did read the government sponsored X Factor when Valerie, I think Cooper, is that her name, was like the leader of the group, and Mystique and Sabretooth were all were part of it as well, and Wild Child, and yeah, I think that was the best lineup they had. But I do. Marvel does their teams well, and I love the Guardians of the Galaxy, and I love how they were, how this Ursat's family was represented in the first Guardians movie. I think they all they were all perfectly cast. They all struck the right tone. So if my if I could have a 5-way tie, it would definitely be the original lineup of the Guardians movie. They bounced off each other really well, and it wasn't your it wasn't your typical character arc. I mean, they're still fractured, but at the same time, they have that mutual respect that makes them super effective on the battlefield and as a team. So I definitely give it up to the Guardians, and I didn't like their villain though.
Ronan, the first Ronan.
Yeah, that's just destroy the world, one note. Yeah, and if you've seen Lee Pace act, he's capable. He did a show called Pushing Daisies. He's capable.
I love that show.
Yeah,
one of my favorite shows.
Yeah, Barry Sonnenfeld. Yeah, it's really dark.
He's also in the Hobbit movie.
All right, who did he play?
He played one of the elf guys. Forgot the guy's name, but he played one of the elf guys in the Hobbit.
Not one of the dwarf guys?
Or no, the elf guys. Elf?
All right. Okay.
Oh, he was a sexy, long-haired elf guy. Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah. Check that out. Yeah, he also played a mad racist in Lincoln. He was really
He's got a wide range of characters.
Yeah, that's why I was so disappointed at his interpretation of Ronan the Accuser. Typical deep voice, one nihilistic this kind of villain, which provides a perfect segue into I guess the complicated Marvel villain, MCU villain that I like, and that's I gotta give everyone will always say Thanos or or Ultron, but I like Baron Zemo. I like he doesn't in Civil War, he doesn't have powers. He has very human motivations for his villainy. His family was wiped out due to the carelessness of the Avengers, and like Batman, he uses his connections and his intellect to construct a scenario which breaks the Avengers apart internally. And like one of his lines there is a perfect summation of his character, where he says, "I knew I couldn't beat them by myself. They had to fight each other." Awareness that, again, that's awareness of his limitations. Zero power, zero supernatural or preternatural powers, and he's just working on pure brain power, and he's motivated, not unlike Batman, with unsettling, unresolved trauma. I mean, it all comes. Character development and trauma seem to go hand in hand in the fictional universe.
Oh, for sure.
So I think, with the exception of Guardians, I think the main theme of all of my favorite characters have been their lack of powers. And if if I had to pick my all-time favorite character, I mean Vertigo, right? That's technically DC, but not. But yeah, but in Vertigo, it would, because Vertigo published Watchmen, and I'd have to give it up for Rorschach. I think he's interesting to the max. He's got his own traumas. He's got rigid principles that prove to be both a liability and an asset. And yeah, he's great.
For sure.
Yeah. Take care, Frog Brawler.
Yeah, see you, Frog. Okay, we're down to the last question. And also to the Lee Pace thing that just Ronan, I think they really did him a disservice with the outfit and the makeup they gave him. Because of that, I don't think he was able to give his full range of acting just based on that, because it was kind of like he couldn't really move in that. He couldn't really do anything with that.
And then you give him a hammer as well to weigh him down. Yeah,
he was up against a lot. He couldn't really do much, but like
he was constricted in emotion and physicality. Yeah.
Poor guy.
Yeah. Well, they made up for it in the sequels. I mean, Ego was a good villain, and the High Evolutionary was a good villain. Yeah.
Yeah. Good question. This is a good question, Jason. Does pineapple belong on pizza?
Well, you know what? You could put whatever you want in pizza, but I'm not eating it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's gross. Cadbury Dairy Milk has also got pineapple flavor, where they put pineapple inside the chocolate, and like in my grocery store, it's the only pile that's still this high because no one takes it. And it's like, did you guys learn nothing from the pizza people?
Nothing from the pizza people. Nice.
Yeah.
We get a last question here from Shelby, who just popped in the chat. What's up, Shelby? What is your favorite dish that utilizes noodles, and why is it ramen?
Because well, I was a uni student, and it's cheap. It's cheap, you know, especially when you're spending all your parents' money on textbooks and transport.
Yes.
So what are you gonna you're gonna eat ramen noodles for lunch, and save the rest of your money on alcohol.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
You want to know what my favorite instant noodle is of all time? It's Chopaghetti. It's the best. You can't. It's the best. It is amazing. Best question. The best.
I don't think you can get that here, Chopaghetti, but I do like.
It's a Korean. It's a Korean noodle. It's like jjangmyeon, but it's instant ramen based. But it's called Chopaghetti, but it's like the black bean noodle based. Also, Shelby has recently gone back to school, and he's also an artist. And if you buy art from him, he signs a ramen packet and sends you a pack of ramen with every purchase.
Yeah. Look, there's something about ramen and students. That's you know, ramen noodles,
spirit animal.
Ramen noodles, beer, and you know. Yeah, ramen noodles, beer, and being a student. That's your budget, and that's how you get through.
Oh, that's also true.
No. Yeah, with a fried egg. Even with a hard-boiled egg, it's fine. I mean,
you're supposed to have it with the egg. That's traditional, but I mean, that's if you're a college kid, that's really up in the ante, because you have to have money for both the ramen and the eggs.
Yeah. And you gotta make your eggs perfect. It has to have the right amount of yolk, you know.
Yeah.
Well, who isn't?
I know. Yeah.
That's such a cool gimmick. You know, mailed foods with your signature on it. That's such a cool gimmick.
He does. He literally signs ramen packets and mails them out. He sells stuff. We were almost at 2 hours, and you thought you weren't going to be talking long.
No, definitely not. Yeah, well, I hope I was coherent for the most of it.
You were. I'm telling you right now, it was our energy drinks that helped us get over. Ching, bloop, ding, ding, ding. Yes, exactly. Survival is ramen, pizza, and beer in college. Yeah.
What's pizza? we don't have the budget in uni. Yeah, especially today with the inflation, it's just gonna be ramen and beer. That's it. Or I think vodka's cheaper than beer. Maybe just ramen and vodka.
You know what they should do, which would be amazing, if they made like a pizza flavored ramen, solve all the problems. Like,
yeah. Even bad pizza is good. That's the
even
thing.
bad pizza is good. Yeah.
That's why people throw away pineapple on pizza. Yeah. Even So I'm completely down to that.
6 more hours. You know, I could probably do 6 more hours. We're amped up on energy drinks. You really should be endorsed by the ramen company, Shelby, by the amount of ramen that you have. It's insane.
Your friends bring the pizza. Yeah, your friends who already graduated and have a salary going. Yeah, that's
yeah. Yes, that's when you do the party and say bring your own beer, but you tell one friend to bring a pizza, and then you have here you go. Here's you get one beer. Yeah, there you go, Kev. Smart, smart, Kev.
Yeah. And we all knew that friend. Yeah, But, you know that friend didn't get paid a lot either. Yeah.
Oh, you're blaming the Canadians for pineapple pizza?
Yeah, your neighbors to the north, they put the pineapple in the pizza.
Oh, dang.
Why they call it the Hawaiian? All right, yeah.
Interesting. That's probably the Canadian bacon. That's probably
what
it is. And they're probably just blaming it on Hawaii.
Canadian bacon. What does that mean? I know that was John Candy's last film. Okay, was it John Candy's? No, it wasn't John Candy. It was Michael Moore's first film, Canadian Bacon, who's also from Michigan. Canadian Bacon.
Canada is a real country. I call it Canada because they are so close. I call it Canada. It's literally not even 20 minutes from here.
It's not even a real country anyway.
So I would say, I don't know, Little Caesars is hit or miss. It could be cardboard or it could be good. If you get it if you get Little Caesars at the arenas, it's the best. If you go just pick up a Little Caesars pizza, it's straight cardboard. It's like eating the box.
And 7-Elevens are always near the colleges or the unis or lodgings, especially in Australia, and they knew what they were doing because they're open all the time, and you go there at 3 a.m. and get junk food after you do certain things.
Pineapple pizza, nothing to do with Hawaii. Hawaii is the best. I would assume so. You've got to have fresh. Yeah, I would assume they do. Yes. So before we take off this year, we were doing a review on your book, Stellarlands, which is White Mexico. Hold on, let me pull me up. There we go. There's your lovely cover by Ben. It's so good. There's the galaxy. There's your cover. I'll show you a couple more interiors. Ooh, I love the purples and blues. But yeah, it was quite lovely, and I enjoyed it. And I can't wait for issue 2 to come out. And you said kick for that will be somewhere around February, March. The link down below for the Kickstarter for pre-launch is down below.
For 2, yeah. But what we're looking at is already out. You can purchase it at the Comex shop.
Yes.
Or you could purchase a digital comic on Amazon or Comixology, through Kindle.
Yes.
And if you're one of the 75% who have completely gone digital, and in which case I don't blame you. But for me, there's just something about the physical copy. I mean, they're both great, but holding something in your hand. I'm still of that generation. I'm 3 years away from 40. I think our generation is going to be the last physical.
I'm 3 years above 40, so I love that. My favorite page right there. An eyeball right there.
Yeah. Again, complete edition by Ben. Yeah. But yes, if you wanna buy a copy, and if you don't mind the shipping costs, or if the shipping costs aren't expensive in your part of the world, go to the comics shop, and if you could buy several books, and the shipping would still be the same.
Oh,
because
nice.
It's all coming from the same location. So if you want to check out what some of the more interesting minds in comic book creation in the Australian indie scene are doing, check out Comic Studios.
I like that. That's cool.
That doesn't particularly make any sense right now, but it will. But it will. That's a coat of arms for a university that hasn't shown up yet. And I hope we get to all 8 chapters, to all 8 issues, and for physical copies, go down
copy there.
And yeah, and for the just and for the digital copies, just write Stellarlands in your Amazon search bar,
Yeah.
and you can get it immediately in one click on
Yeah.
Mixology or Kindle. Yes.
It's also down below. For the Amazon link is down below in the description. And then I also have the Kickstarter for the pre-launch link also here in the description as well. So go look for all those links below. And here, let's make it weird again. Boom, plop, plop. There you go. Do you have any upcoming things that you would like to promote yourself? Do you have any con appearances or anything like that that you would like to promote?
No. Unfortunately, there's not that many Comic-Con appearances. I mean, Comic-Cons in Australia, there's maybe 2 per state, and not all of the states have one. And thing is, Australia is big. It takes getting here to another state would be like going through 4 countries or 5 countries in Europe. So yeah, in that sense, it's quite difficult. But what I do have to talk about is Stellarlands 2. And if I could just have
go for it.
a few minutes to talk up this project. Now, Stellarlands, as we said earlier, you don't need to read issue 1 to get into issue 2. Everything is non-chronological because all the stories are happening at the same time. This was also influenced by the structural style of Seven Soldiers, I believe it was called, where you could pick up any issue, and they all point to the same epilogue, but you can read them at any order as you want. So please don't feel the need to think that you need to read issue 1. You could read issue 1 later. Issue 2 takes my main influence for issue 1 were the holdout soldiers in Japan. Issue 2 is very much a love story, or a melancholy love story. One of my favorite comic books is Blankets. It was definitely inspired by that. Except it happens. Yes, it's still grounded, but it takes place within a sci-fi environment. You have a human soldier, part of a base that is occupying an alien moon, and he falls in love with a local, and that throws their community into turmoil, and it all culminates in a very difficult decision that has to be made at the end of the comic book, which either defines or rips apart the romance at the heart of Stellarlands 2. So yes, if you like Blankets and if you like sci-fi, definitely give us a follow, because these or hit the notify button on our Kickstarter, because these don't get created without you. And I just want to express my gratitude, because issue 1 wouldn't have been created without you. And 87 pledgers made possible issue 1, and you really pulled through. And I got an email list, and I sent my first ever MailChimp to thank you all, and I would like to thank you all again. And of course, we're all part of this ecology, this comic book making community, and I've also I've only been part of the community for 1 year. I've already backed 11 projects, and they've all been great.
Lovely.
If you could back this project as well when it comes out, or just give us a follow, that would definitely give us a strong idea. And if you can, follow us on Comex and all of our socials. It's not just thank you, Kevin. It's not just a one-person game. I'm part of the Comex family, and we have some amazing books on sale there. Battle for Bustle, Battery Hen, Foes, some really solid titles that you definitely should check out. And I'm very pleased and privileged to be part of this growing. I think we're growing. We're definitely we're definitely a growing community.
Yeah, because I know you guys. A couple of the ones on here had some very successful Kickstarters. This last year alone, I know Battery Hen was just up. They had their Kickstarter not too long ago.
Yeah, very multiple artists, very innovative. It's a fusion of styles. They definitely do something which me as a writer I couldn't come up with. So it's definitely good to have the visual artists at the fore of some of these projects.
Yeah, and it's definitely really good to see more Australian creators coming out of the works. So that's good
Yeah,
good to see.
yeah.
So I
Only
really enjoy that.
27 million of us, so all of our creative listeners are very small. Our film industry is small. Our television industry is small to non-existent, and our comic book industry is small. But yeah, unlike film and television, which is a very club atmosphere. It's a very exclusive club. You have to be part of a union. It's like being let into a velvet rope. I don't like that famine mentality. In the comic book world, it's not a club scene. It's very much a community scene. It's come one, come all. Everyone supports each other's work. There is no famine mentality. Everyone is always supporting everyone's work on Kickstarter. You don't have you don't have that the jealousy. I guess jealousy can be a good thing sometimes because it's aspirational, but it's definitely not apparent in the as someone who's working both film and comics. It's something that's not immediately apparent in the comic book scene anyway. Which is not to say we don't have drama. I'm sure there is drama in every industry that you can name, but
for sure. Yeah.
yeah,
I'd say
yeah.
that's the one thing I see out of like the indie creators is there's a huge support system within the indie comic creators, and I'd say that's the number one person that's backing each other's work because you guys thoroughly support each other like big time. I see every day like somebody else is just backing somebody else's Kickstarter and getting it out there and spreading the word. And even if you're just sharing it, it's out there. And I think that's amazing that they're doing that. But yeah, there's drama no matter where you go. And that's a thing. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what I say about drama? Drama it's 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react. So
yeah.
Yeah, you got to be a Buddha
For
sometimes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, we've been here for 2 hours. I think we could get this on here. Let me pull this back down here. There we go. Back to normal. You can relax.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. So yeah, thank you. And if
You're very welcome.
if you like your sci-fi, if you like your grounded sci-fi, if you like shows like The Wire or comic books like Blankets, if you like Watchmen, please just these are all my aspirational titles. That's so check out Stellarlands. When I was putting my work up on Amazon, that's what I noticed that a lot of comic books do. Like Saga is like Star Wars meets Game of Thrones. They like to put together things. I still haven't done that for my comic book, but I should. Maybe like The Wire meets Guardians of the Galaxy, maybe, but I'm not sure if people would recognize The Wire with the same resonance, but they should because
I think there's a lot of people that are really big fans of The Wire, and they really like that show a lot.
Yeah, the people I meet are like me. We don't just like the show; we're obsessed with every detail.
Yeah,
we
all
should
the
see
characters and all the seasons. Yeah, I just had a friend binge watch every season of SVU, and he's like super into it.
SVU, that's like 11 seasons or something, isn't it?
It's like 20 some seasons. I know. He just binged every season of it. Yeah, I know. That was a lot. But yeah, let's go and get out of here because I know it's what is it? What time? It's got to be like what? What time is it over there?
No, it's in the middle of the day. It's like 1 p.m. But yes,
1 p.m. Yeah.
I got to do some stuff. It's the middle of the day.
I would like to get a snack. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What are you, midnight already or something?
It
or
is 9 p.m. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would like a snack.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I got to do laundry and groceries and all that other good stuff that you do on the day and the weekend.
Adulting. Boo.
Yep. Yeah.
Jason, for sure, I'll remind you when it launches. Also, please come back when you do have your Kickstarter launch because I also do campaign promos. So when you do launch that, come back in and we'll do a campaign promo.
Yeah, definitely. Kickstarter. Yeah. I'm following you now. We're in each other's worlds now, and
perfect.
To anyone who was watching, please follow, and I'll follow back, and let's keep this community humming.
Perfect. All right. Let's get on out of here. And for the peeps in the chat, I know Low Grades is coming up, and we have a hunt on tonight, and it is Hustle Mania. So go watch all that fun stuff, and we will see you guys later. So let's get on out of here.
Thank you,
guys.
Bye.
Bye.